Hey everyone, Roughneck2 Charlie, and the time has finally come. As of last night, Battlefield 1 has seen its first major patch. What we had come to us was a patch that had a huge amount of bug fixes and also addressed a lot of concerns and wants of what the Battlefield community wanted. Now in a prior video, I did the top 10 things that the community wanted, and I'm going to link that below in the description. What I'm going to do in this video is highlight most of the things that this patch addressed that the community wanted. Yes, there's a whole list of things that I could go over, and I'm going to list the patch notes down below in the description as well. But for now, I'm more worried about what the community wanted and what the community got with this patch. Let's start out with a huge change that DICE made. We can finally quit out of a match whenever we like. We don't have to wait for another match to load in. This will come to a huge relief to a lot of players, because so many times players were trying to meet up with friends and squad mates and weren't able to immediately because they had to wait for the next match to completely load in order to then quit out to join their friends. Another major change that players are going to love is the fact that we can now kick out useless squad leaders. Now, if a member of your squad asks for some kind of an order and the squad leader doesn't do anything within 60 seconds, they will be removed from their squad leader position. Basically, the way it works is players will be put in a leadership queue. Then, if the squad leader doesn't do anything within that 60 seconds, they will then be put in that spot. And it goes on from there, one person after the other, until you eventually, hopefully, find a useful squad leader. Another thing a lot of players are going to notice is there were some major changes made to Suez Canal. There is now the 5 flags like they talked about before instead of the 3. The 3 originals now have a smaller capture radius. This will be very helpful because there were so many times as though it seemed as though you could capture each point from a separate side of the middle of the road. And it really made things very difficult, and most of the time it made for unbalanced matches. Now basically what DICE did is they took the original 2 spawns and put flags in those and then moved the original spawns back. They also added an armored car to each side. That way if there was the chance of a spawn camp, they could use that to get out. Now I have gotten mixed reviews from the community on just how they like the new Suez Canal. Personally, I haven't played it yet, but friends of mine that have said that it's basically the same thing as it was before, except now it's just streamlined over 5 flags instead of 3. I really wish that DICE would have utilized that open desert that was on the bottom side of the map and kind of staggered the flags a little bit. The game mode operations also saw some significant changes as well, mainly for the attacking side. Now instead of the original 150 tickets that the attackers had, they now have 250 in the 64 player mode and 200 in the 40 player. DICE also made the flags easier to capture for the attacking team. Now moving on to weapons, there was a lot of small changes made throughout each class. For example, the Russian 1895 infantry and sniper rifles both have a reduced rate of fire. Also, there was some changes made to the damage multiplier for buckshot, but most of the love in this patch went to the light machine guns. The LMGs received some major buffs in this patch, to include better suppression at medium range, increased accuracy while aiming down sights, and also models like the Lewis light machine gun and the Hoop have seen a reduction in their recoil. On top of all that, the LMGs also gained more accuracy while being fired, and some of them that didn't have bipods now do. Now for those of you that are level 10 in the support class and run the Hellriegel, you're going to notice a significant change in the horizontal recoil of the weapon. But on the plus side, it will overheat a bit slower than it used to. Now just to touch on the gadgets, there's been a few changes to things like the mortars and the limpet mines. Limpet mines are no longer destructible from other explosives. It's supposed to be a time charge, so there were so many times that players wouldn't be able to get an explosion off and take out a tank or a vehicle because they were already being blown up by either a grenade or dynamite. They also changed the accuracy of the mortars. Now basically what you have to do is you have to wait a certain amount of time before firing again if you want to have an accurate shot. Yes, you can still fire it just as quickly as you used to, but it won't have as much accuracy. Now basically what you have to do is wait about 4 seconds in between each shot, and then you'll see the red dot show up on the mini-map, and then you'll know you'll have an accurate shot. Obviously they must have added this in to keep the spam of mortars down, and to also give players a bit of a chance to be able to get out of the area once the first round initially hits. Now another great thing that players have been asking for and now have is the ability to customize your character before getting into a match. They added an additional icon onto the home screen, and you can also go into your soldier tab and customize it there. This will save players tons of time and will be able to join matches and start battling immediately instead of playing around with their class and trying to get exactly what they want while everyone else is fighting. DICE also finally added the Rent a Server program, and it can be found located under the custom matches. There's only 2 things that I really don't like about the Rent a Server program as of right now. First of all, you cannot kick or ban players from your server. Yes, you paid for the server, but yet you cannot control who plays on it. And the other thing that you cannot do is you cannot password protect your server either. Now I understand why some of this might be in place, because a lot of times players could be simply kicked or banned from a server because they're better. Because the owner doesn't like the fact that they're being killed over and over again by somebody with a higher skill level. But this also opens the door for people to come in and troll a server, and that could be a major downfall of this new Rent a Server program. Now maybe this is something that we'll see change in the future, which most likely will happen if the community speaks up enough about it. But until then, this is going to be something that we're just going to have to let play out. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have been sitting here for the past 6 minutes and 30 seconds wondering, hey Rough, when are you going to mention hardcore? Is it coming? Well, I have great news. Yes, it is. The only unfortunate thing is that it did not come in this patch. As of a little while ago, Battlefield tweeted out that hardcore is coming on November 16th, which is tomorrow. So don't worry, it's going to be here before you know it. Now speaking of tomorrow, this also kicks off the event Battlefest, in which we're going to have plenty of live streams and hopefully plenty of details on upcoming content for Battlefield 1. And hopefully, we're going to get some sneak peeks at the new map, Giant Shadow. And for those of you that saw my last video about nighttime operations in Battlefield 1, I don't know about you, but I'm really crossing my fingers for it. Now that concludes my personal breakdown of the very first patch of Battlefield 1. I really hope you found this informative, and if you did, please smash that like button down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. For now, I'm Roughneck 2 Charlie, and I will see you very soon.